Alright guys, hope we're good. Let's have a quick look over the market. Stocks down. Really from the early hours you can see decent move lower. Not long after we opened, around 2 AM during that Asian session. Decent move, and it's been very well respected, all the levels to the downside. What yesterday was such a great sort of guide for price, that went closed below. Great retest around 9 or in that hour candle, and just down to the next areas of support. And yeah, now we found a base here. So for me, I'm a bull intraday above 31.57, and really, as long as we're below that, you have to remain bearish, I'd say. You know, people that bought the low, de-risking pivot, fine. I'll probably just move this. You know, even with a move to a new low of the day, I'd just be wary. You've got some nice previous highs here that don't look like they've been retested too much, at least on the hour. So I'd expect some support there. I do wonder if that goes in the cash open, whether we actually get a quicker move to fill this gap in the futures. So I'll be keeping a watch on that around 31.20. Would be a decent move lower. Another 23 points, so sort of looking more than 50 for the day. I don't think that's out of the question. Another market which has looked quite nice, we've been putting this in the chat, is the Aussie dollar. Look at this trend line break retest, so beautiful. Finding a bit of support where we found support on the 3rd. I mean, looking at this, I mean, yeah, I think back towards the pivot and the trend line are obviously great areas for there to be resistance, but where could there be maybe another place to get short? You just got to wonder here now if actually are we going to see a retracement. I mean, looking at this high, you can see these lows, sorry, that's going to be pretty key. I'd just be careful, you know, selling again on this point. I think if we do come up, we actually might get a bit of a run higher, the way these markets can go. Gold for me, if we can get back above 1788.4, I'd be a buyer. I'd also be interested to see what happens on the low of yesterday in the early hours. I think that would be a nice point to keep a watch on, because below there, I think 1722s can come in a bit quicker. This is just all looking horizontally, but yeah, I think if we can start to see a recovery, maybe a bit of weakness in the dollar, back above what was a key level yesterday, to target those lows of the morning, I don't think is out of the question, really. Quick look at euro and pound to wrap it. You're starting to see that recovery, aren't you, in the dollar? Euro coming up to a key level from yesterday as well. The low of the day, I mean, it didn't quite get down to those morning highs, so you'd still have that now as a zone around here. If we can get back above, it's almost like what I'm saying with gold, in looking for that push to those previous lows there for the euro. For cable, I mean, you've already started to see the recovery, only down 2 pips now on the day. Looks a bit messier though in terms of, you know, potentially how it could have been traded, I have to say. I mean, looking at that price action, I wouldn't be too interested unless we now came. I mean, let's have a look, see if we've got a nice trend on this. Not really. I mean, looking at that at the moment, unless we find a third test on the trend line, R1 or the S1 would be where I'd be interested in, to be completely honest. Oil, just to see if anything jumps out. Bit of a drift lower. Got obviously a lot of support in that S1 area and the lows from last week on the 2nd and 3rd. Been trending down, much like many risk assets, but we are starting to see just a bit of a recovery. So if that is to continue, the trend line and previous lows could be opportunities for those longs to come in. Wait till the volume, you know, comes through though, I would say, for these markets. Catch you all later, guys. Have a good afternoon or morning session, depending where you are.